Hi, my name's Diana, and I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass surgery. Um, I have a surgery scheduled for August 5th. I've been uh, doing everything to get ready for this surgery, to get prepared and everything since August 27th of last year. So it's been a long process, and it's finally coming around. Today was the first day that I started my OptiFast diet. I have to be on this liquid diet for 2 weeks before I start my, um, you know, last day of prep for the surgery. Uh, and then I'll be on one day of clear liquids only, probably broth and water and stuff like that. But, um, I want to video this in case anybody's interested in having this surgery done or has any questions or just feels like they're alone out there. I know a lot of people do. They think that they're the only ones going through it, and you know they don't know what to do or who to talk to. I started this journey out by calling my insurance provider and finding out whether or not they covered it. There's a lot of them don't. But I think a lot of insurance companies are realizing that it's in their best interest to cover this surgery because the people who, you know, are morbidly obese have higher instances of heart disease, diabetes, just things like this, high blood pressure, all kinds of problems, arthritis. I can attest to, the arthritis myself. I have osteoarthritis, and my doctor's not even giving me any medication because he says it should resolve once that I start dropping some pounds. So, and I can't wait because I'm in pain constantly. And I know a lot of you who are overweight are probably going through the same thing, and it really sucks. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not feeling some sort of pain. I have it really bad in my toes, my knees, and my hips, and I have bursitis in my shoulder, and it's horrible. And, a lot of people just don't get it. I'll start off by telling you how I got this way. I can pinpoint pretty much the exact day when I started my love-hate relationship with food. My father, and I'm not dogging my dad. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I love my dad, but the thing is that his mother went through the Great Depression. And the way you're raised when food is scarce is completely different than how we're raised right now when everything in America is in abundance. And I remember when he and my mom split up that it was tough and everything. It really just was. And they both had different parenting styles, but he met a woman, and when he was taking us, me and my brother, over there one day to introduce her to us, after they had been dating for a bit, he made a big pot of vegetable beef soup, and he took me and my brother over there. And I remember on the way, I was seven, mind you, okay? I'm 41 now, okay? 7 years old, if you can picture that. If you've got kids, just imagine a little 7-year-old who can, just got, maybe out of nap time and diapers and everything else. And I stuck my hand in the soup because I wanted to taste it. And instead of maybe just scolding me for it or whatever, I was made to go in front of her and her kids and sit down and eat until I got sick that pan of soup. I don't know how much I was able to hold until I finally got sick and threw up, but yeah, because I tainted the pot, whatever. But that's the first memory that I have that I had a bad, that started the bad relationship with food. That started this whole thing out. And I know when I say the other side of the coin is my mom raised us differently. She tried to feed us healthy, and so everything in her home was, I mean, it was healthy. You know, sugar-free everything. If we had a snack, it was sugar-free Jello, sugar-free pudding, fat-free everything. We weren't allowed to have snacks like candy bars or nutty bars or anything Little Debbie. We weren't allowed to have anything. So it was to the other extreme, um, stuff like that, you know. So, you know, I mean, I wanted out of the house when I was young, and I did everything that I could to get out of the house when I was young. I had my daughter when I was 17, and the minute I moved out into my own place, I started eating exactly what I wanted. I got myself nutty bars, I got myself Little Debbie snacks, you know, I'm eating Ho-Hos and Twinkies and making myself cake, whatever. I got whatever I wanted because I wasn't allowed to have it growing up. And so I think there's got to be some kind of middle ground when you're raising your kids, you know. In my opinion, I'm not telling anybody how to raise their kids. This is just my opinion, because I know how I feel about food now, and it's a struggle and it's a war every single day. And I know people don't get it. They think that it's so easy to just say, you know, you can hear them, okay? And I know if you're fat, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're skinny, maybe you don't understand that we can hear you when you say, why don't you just put down the fork? Because if it was that easy, we would just put down the fork. But ever since I was young, I mean, certain things like this, I mean, other things have happened to me during my life. I can't blame everything, you know, that happened in my childhood on my eating disorder. I have to take accountability, and I'm trying to do that now. It took a long time, but, you know, I'm going through counseling and everything else, and I'm trying to do that. But depression, and I suffer from that as well, had a big hand in, you know, how I eat and how I think about food. I'm an emotional eater, and I'll eat when I'm sad. I eat when I'm happy, because everybody does. They celebrate and they eat, you know. And you celebrate and you eat snacks, and you celebrate and you eat big meals. You go out to dinner when you have an anniversary, you have wedding cake, you know, birthday cake, things like that. It's just all right. But I'm also a bored eater, and I also pick, and if it's in front of me, I will eat it, you know, because I'm bored, because it's there. It doesn't really matter. I didn't get here by eating salads. I mean, we all know how we got here, but the point is, we do know how hard it is to just put down the fork. It doesn't happen like that. If it did, we would all just do it. I've done Weight Watchers with my husband, who's an amazing person, by the way. He is totally not judgmental. He loves me exactly as I am. He supports me like this, and I'm 285 pounds. I'm going to lay it out there, and eventually I'll show you what I look like, full body. Right now, I'm speaking to you from my couch, and I'm talking to you from my couch because this is my spot. And I've worn myself a nice ass groove right in the middle, and I have to buy a new one as soon as I have this surgery and lose some weight. This was a new couch last year, but I tend to sleep here and not in my bed because it makes me uncomfortable. And it really sucks. And I don't know how many of you can relate to that who are heavy. You know, none of you skinny people got to worry about it. But, you know, I'm pretty sure that anybody who, you know, carries any little bit of extra knows how bad your back can hurt. And, you know, like I said, the arthritis and everything else. But I have to sleep like the Elephant Man. Oh yeah, another wonderful side effect of being heavy is you can get sleep apnea, and I'm borderline with that. And luckily I don't have to use a CPAP machine. I know a lot of my friends who have to use one, and we all know how bad that sucks too. I mean, there's just a lot of things that are bad for you when you're overweight, and I am not dogging on anybody who hasn't done anything about it. I was at the end of my rope. I was so depressed and so overwhelmed, and I hated myself so much that all my struggles and all of my determination did nothing. Weight Watchers. 8 months of Weight Watchers, I lost 22 pounds, and I was so strict about my diet, and I walked, and I did what I was supposed to do. 22 pounds. I did Atkins for a year, and I lost 40. A year of Atkins. Anybody I know who did Atkins for 3 months lost 40 pounds. It took me a year to peel that off, and it was so hard. Again, with exercise, and I stuck to it. I did not cheat. And so when I hear put down the fork, I would really like to just kind of pick it up and stab somebody with it, because I've really done everything, to get to where I should be. Now, I'm not doing that now. I am doing that now. I'm going for my surgery and everything, but in between the dieting, of course I didn't just, live on lettuce, okay? I ate cheeseburgers. I stopped at McDonald's. But that's another thing, too. I know that people can relate to. When you're fat, it's really hard when you're eating out. For instance, you want to go have a burger, and you go to a restaurant, and if you don't order a salad, you're constantly looking over your shoulder to see who's staring at you and checking out what you're eating. You always worry about that stuff. You wonder if people think you're, no wonder she's fat. Look at her eating that burger. Or look at her eating that, for instance, my son took me out for like one last meal before I started my liquid diet. And we went to a local restaurant over here, and I ordered Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes, and I always look around to see if anybody's staring at me. I'm always self-conscious. I'm always that way. And I put on makeup, and I do my hair, and I do my nails, and I try to feel good about myself, and I try to carry myself a certain way, and I try to be confident. And I think you should do that, no matter how you look. And I don't find larger people unattractive by any stretch, but I'm doing this personally to be healthy. I want to be around with my kids. I want to be around with my husband and everything else. And this has probably sounded like a big, huge rant and ramble, but I wanted you to get to know me a little bit. The rest of the vlogs I intend on doing are going to be about the products, and how they're making me feel, how much everything costs out of pocket if your insurance doesn't cover the surgery. I'm going to lead you up to my surgery date, and I'm going to keep a video library of how the weight comes off. And I hope you stick with me. Thanks.